I know you love it, and so many other people do. So maybe I will give that one a try.
Hi, and welcome to another reading vlog. It's Saturday. No, it's not Saturday. It is Friday today, and this is what I'm currently reading. I woke up feeling stressed about my reading, so I put on some reading sprints to watch back, and I just started reading this morning. I started a book that I've been delaying reading because I'm so intimidated by it, but it's really interesting. It's The Unwomanly Face of War. I have read the introduction and the preface, which I'm not really sure what the format is of it. It are diary entries from the author while she was writing this book, and it has some conversations that she had with the censor of her book as well, because she published this, I think, during the Soviet regime in Russia. So she had a censor who removed some parts of her writings. Those parts she added in 2002. Between 2002 and 2004, she added those. So those were already disgusting and shocking, clearly, because they were pulled out because they didn't portray the war as an heroic event. In the introduction, so the diary entries, the author talks about why a woman's war is different than a man's war, and with that she says the women stay silent after the war and they don't talk about their involvement. It's funny because I underlined the sentence that I thought was so beautiful, and it's also the same sentence on the back, and it says, "Women's war has its own colors, its own smells, its own lighting, and its own range of feelings, its own words." The goal of this novel is to tell the war from the perspective of the women. So far she talks about how women remember a lot of different details, how they are not bred for war, they have not been told as children that there's a possibility that they have to fight in war, and she tells about what it does to do harm to a person. And one woman said, I have lived as two in my life. I lived as a man in a war, and then later I became a woman. This book is very binary in that way, which I think makes sense seeing the time it was written. I think it was written in the 80s. But I understand its purpose in this book because war is talked about in such a binary way and always from the male perspective. And I think this is just a collection of all the stories she has gathered from the women. I am really excited to read this and not intimidated at all because the writing seems very easy. Something completely different. I started the Love Hypothesis. I started listening to the audiobook and I have no idea how far I'm in. I think around 100 pages. So this could either be a 2-star or a 3-star. Because the cringe level, you override, the cringe level is so high. This feels like very well written fanfiction, which I think in the beginning it was. You can kind of see that the main character, so the male love interest, is supposed to be Adam Driver. Googling Adam Driver and looking at photos, like, he is a handsome man while he matured. Earlier, not so much. So those photos did not help to sell this book to me. I sent Sarah some messages because I bought this because of me just laughing at the dialogue of this, especially the inner monologue from the woman, the main character, from Olive. The strange thing about this book is I'm really enjoying the professional part, which I thought I would not like because these are scientists and we are in an academic setting. I'm not necessarily a sucker for an academic setting. So I thought I wouldn't like that, but I kind of like that part because those I feel are very well motivated and the character's behavior makes a lot of sense. But when it comes to the romance, the writing is appalling. It's just plain bad. It's maybe a little bit sexy. There was one scene that I found slightly sexy, but overall I just don't feel the appeal of these characters. I did enjoy the very short discussion of the sexuality of the main character, where she thought she was asexual for a while, and I think it's going to be discussed that she identifies as demisexual, which is kind of what it sounds like, but I don't know if the author will explicitly mention that. I think if I can buy into the romance a little bit more, then it will be a 3-star, otherwise it will be a 2-star. But I am enjoying listening to it, it's just I'm laughing sometimes, and luckily there's only one smut scene, which I wouldn't usually say luckily, but because the writing of the romance is so bad, I am happy there's only one smut scene I will have to laugh my way through. And then we're deviating completely again with my, well, I'm reading more than 3 books, but these are my main reads. It's Romola by George Eliot for a read-along. I'm really enjoying the setting. I talked about this book in my last vlog, and I've read a little bit more since then. I'm now on page 148. I'm a little behind on my daily pages, so hopefully I can read my daily pages tonight. This is still really wonderful. I love the main characters. I don't think this happens very often, but we have a man who is called a stranger. He is shipwrecked, and later we find out that his name is Tito, and I really enjoy him. He is a scholar, but he feels like a very liberal man and very kind and soft-hearted. Don't know if that's going to stay that way, but he is in love with Romola. Romola is in love with him, and I feel like Romola's personality is not very developed yet, but that also really fits within a novel, because in one part it says that Romola doesn't really leave the house because her father always wants her near him. And my prediction is that once that kind of changes, because she has now met Tito, they have the intention of getting married, and I feel like once there's going to be distance between her and her father, she's probably going to develop more as a character. At least that's what I'm hoping. There's still a lot of pages for that to happen, so I'm feeling slightly intimidated. Not really by the Love Hypothesis, because I'm listening to the audiobook for that one, but these two I'm feeling quite intimidated by, and I hope that my enjoyment will top the fact that I feel intimidated by them. So yeah, that is my little reading update, and I hope to update you especially on this one, because oh, I think it's gonna be a good one. I can just feel that this could be like a solid 5-star. I don't have a whole lot planned for this weekend. In a few hours we're going to my parents' house, going to have dinner with them again, which has been a few weeks, so that's really nice. And tomorrow Boy and I have planned to do whatever the F we want. No cleaning or housework. Fixing things in the house allowed. We are kind of type A, both of us, where we are always just working on to-do list and we forget to chill and to have fun. That's not healthy. It's not good. And because we're both that way, it's kind of hard to break the cycle. So tomorrow we're gonna do whatever the F we want, because we've been sick, and once we weren't sick anymore, we started working right away, started cleaning the house. We started to do all the things that we absolutely had to do, and we haven't done anything fun in like 3 weeks. Well, we did one fun thing, but like for an hour. So tomorrow, fun. Oh, I feel like such an adult that I have to schedule my fun. It's so ridiculous. And Sunday I have reading sprints with the Hobbitses, which, oh my gosh, those girls make me so happy. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. And hopefully I can use those sprints to finish or to read my daily portion of Romola. Sprints are so helpful if you have those kind of daily goals. Yeah, I think I still have, let's see, I still have 2 hours before we need to leave. So as you may have seen, we announced our next 4 book club reads for the Hobbitses book club, and I thought we could kind of chat about those books, give you some extra information on what those books are about. If you have already done that yourself, or if a book club is not in your interest, I always chapter my vlogs, so you can just skip this one to another reading update. But the first book we're going to read is The Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi Coates. I'm not going to read the back for you because that's a bit boring, but I'll try to summon up what it is about. So this book is about Hiram Walker, who was born into bondage, and his mother is sold away. Hiram lost all memory of her. But when that happened, he was gifted with a mysterious power. Years later, he almost drowns in a river and he is connected with that power again. Then he starts a journey of escape from Virginia in the deep south to the north. His goal is to reunite with the only family he has ever known. So this is a historical fiction. I guess it is also magical realism, because I'm assuming that this power that he gains is magical realism, but it could also of course be psychological on his part. The tagline is: "The Water Dancer is a prelusive, transcendent work that restores the humanity of those from whom everything was stolen." I had to look a few times at the cover, but I really like it, and I think especially the back is also really beautiful with the way that it's kind of painted. Like, it looks like a photo, but it's not, it's a painting. It's around 400 pages, so this is, I think, a great read. I think it's great that we're taking a little bit of time for this one. And then we're going to read a magical realism fantasy YA. By the way, this one was Lucy's pick, and next up is Mary's pick. And I love that Mary picked, first of all, translated work, which I love that she did that, but also that we're going to read a YA, which we haven't done before. So this is about, I believe, a group of teens, and they are lured towards this castle. And in this castle, I think they have some tasks to fulfill, but also they have to go to a secret room where they will be granted a wish. But there's a catch: if they don't leave the castle by 5 o'clock, they will be punished, which sounds scary. As time passes, a devastating truth emerges. Only those brave enough to share their stories will be saved. Tender, playful, gripping, The Lonely Castle in the Mirror is a mesmerizing tale about the importance of reaching out, confronting anxiety, and embracing human connection. If you know Mary, then you know that this sounds like a Mary book. This book definitely was not on my radar. I think I just don't gravitate towards YA, but this sounds so lovely, and I feel like this has the potential to be a book that all of us will fall in love with. After that, we will read my pick, and of course I picked something equally obscure as my last pick, and that is Author Sappho. So this is a novel in which we meet a lot of different women throughout time. We have a few dates on the back. It says 1895, 1902 and 1923. This is all about artists, and Sappho is, of course, is she? I think Sappho was known as the first female artist, or at least writer, and this is about hardships they had to endure as women. It really sounds like a me kind of book. I know this was nominated for the Booker Prize. It didn't win, but it was nominated. I'm not sure, but I think all of the characters were real women in history. We have Colette, Josephine Baker, Virginia Woolf, which I read Virginia Woolf and I bought it. In After Sappho, Selby Wynne Schwartz has created a novel that celebrates the women and trailblazers of the past. Their constant efforts to push against boundaries of what it means and can mean to be a woman. That also offers hope for our present and our future. I don't really know what to expect from the writing itself, which I think when we do our live shows and with the girls, usually the writing is what divides us in how much we like it. So I cannot predict who is going to love this most. Looking at the subject matter and kind of the intention of the book, I think it's going to be a book that me and Lucy will really enjoy. The final book is a classic, and this was Sarah's pick, and I'm sure that's a book that you have heard of, and that is Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. This is a novel published in 1952, and it is about a black man in America. We follow the adventures of the Invisible Man, and the man is invisible purely because people do not want to see me, is what it says on the back of the book. We meet him in a southern college, and we meet him in Harlem during a race riot. I have the feeling that this book is going to have a lot of adventurous and exciting settings that also have a very heavy political load. I don't think I've seen a lot of booktube reviews on this book, even though the title is something most people know. I haven't seen a lot of reviews of the actual book, so it's hard to predict how we will feel about this. But all of us read classics, so I think this is a book all of us would have picked up if it wasn't for the book club. I can do a personal prediction of the book I think I will like most. It's a book I'm going to love and adore most and going to have the best time reading. But if I'm going to look at star rating, then I think one of these two have the potential of being a 5-star. Of course, the one I picked myself with the highest probability of it being a 5-star. Yeah, I'm actually just really excited for all of these novels, even though they weren't on my radar and I wouldn't have picked them up myself if I saw them in a bookstore. Now that I've read a little bit about them, I think they all have the potential of being a book that I will really love and enjoy. If this sounded exciting to you, it sounded exciting to me. We have live shows with the Hobbitses book club that you can watch, and we also have a Discord. I say this every time, but it's all linked in the description down below. It is Saturday afternoon and I've been having the most chill Saturday. I baked some chocolate chip coconut cookies this morning. I made the dough yesterday evening and then I put them in the oven this morning, and I already had a few and they were so good. Mary was doing some Patreon sprints, which I just became a patron of Mary's, which has been really great, really fun. So I joined those sprints, I watched them, and I listened to a little bit more of the Love Hypothesis while doing some YouTube work. I ordered a few DVDs, as the grandma that I am, of some of my favorite classics adaptations. I feel like outside of the UK, these are really hard to find on streaming services, so I thought I'd just buy the DVDs, as expensive as if I would get a VPN and try to watch them, and then I have them forever, because I am one of the few people who still has a DVD player. Of course, I had to get one of the best ones out there, and that is North and South. So this is based on a Victorian novel by Elizabeth Gaskell. I think I've seen the first episode, but I wasn't really in the mood to watch the whole thing after I just finished the novel. And it's supposed to be really good, and I did already like the first episode. Can't wait to watch the whole thing this time. And then I got 50% because I love the book, the other 50% because I just love the actresses who play, especially Judi Dench right there. And this is Cranford. I have not heard anyone talk about this one, but I feel like it's just going to be funny. If you have watched this one, let me know if you liked it. And then one that didn't arrive yet, but will arrive I think in a few weeks, is a mini-series of Middlemarch. It's the kind of book I would like to reread, but it's like too big to reread. It's too big to bother, so I just watched the mini-series and be in the world of the characters again. Also not heard a lot about this, but I don't think Middlemarch has a lot of adaptations. Like, it's no Emma or Jane Eyre. I think this is just the one. So I can treat myself in the weekends to a mini-series, which I really love. I'm not making that much headway in my current reads, although the interest is high. I'm sure I will do a little bit more of reading this weekend. Before I forget, I did set a date for the next 24-hour readathon, which will be the 18th and the 19th of March. I will make some prompts again because I really did enjoy that last time, and of course I will be reading sprints, so just keep updated with like Instagram and my community page, and there you can find like the prompts and the information. We will start the sprints on Saturday the 18th at 12 p.m. Central European time. Put it in your calendars because we're going to have a lot of fun again. Okay, awesome news. I'm completely convinced on the romance of this book, which didn't happen before, like I said. I was only enjoying the non-romance bit. I think the beginning of this novel is just a little bit messy, but then once the characters start to know each other better, it is much better. I think I have about 2 hours left of the audiobook. I just read the one smut scene that this book has. It was fine. I've seen people read this book and I've seen some reviews and I've seen it come up in wrap-ups, and there are a few lines in the smut scene that makes everyone laugh. I had the same, but overall I thought it was quite well written, quite convincing. I still think that there are a few things in this book that don't really need to be in there writing wise. There also was this joke about the idea of disfigured feet, and they were making some really ableist jokes about that, which that didn't need to be in this book. That's not the stuff of jokes, people. Come on, that's not funny. But overall, this is going to be a 3-star. I think I will listen to the last 2 hours. There's definitely going to be a third act breakup. I can feel it. I know there's this conflict, and it feels like a very similar conflict that I read in another romance novel. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to ruin either of those books for you. Although the other book I gave 2 stars because of the way that conflict was resolved, which I hated so much. So I hope it's going to be different in this book. I'm guessing it will be different because I like the characters in this book better than I liked in the other one, and I know that Sarah has also read both and that she loved this and that she disliked the other one as well for the same reason, so I'm assuming this will have a different kind of resolve. I hope so, because otherwise the last 2 hours are not going to be fun for me with this book. Today is Sunday. We decided to just have a chill time at home because we're both just so tired. We did go to the pet store this morning, and because we have 3 cats, we just have a lot of shit to buy every time we go to the pet store. And our cats are hungry assholes as well. But we got a lot of toys, and I've been trying to kind of figure out how to get more enrichment for Nora. Because Max and Bella are very happy with the way things are in our home, with how much we play with them. Both of them are active cats, but not overly active. But Nora really needs more enrichment. She gets bored a lot and then she starts to bite everything. So she kind of demolishes a lot of our stuff, but I know that it is boredom. We still play with her, but I feel like it's not enough. She needs more enrichment that she can find, especially when we're asleep or when we're working. So I've been trying to figure out what would work for her, but I'm not entirely sure because we did really look at the pet store to find some more enriching elements and toys, but they're either really expensive or I feel like Nora wouldn't really have fun with it. So if you have any tips to have more enrichment in your home for a very active cat, because Nora is super active and she's also very intelligent when it comes to playing. We found a toy this morning and we were like, we have never seen that toy. Did we get that at some point for them? And we had no idea. And then we found another toy that we had bought, totally demolished. And apparently that toy had another toy inside and she was able to get that toy out and she started playing with that toy. I would like to add something for her that challenges her. Something like a puzzle for cats. Any tips in that department are very welcome. So that is a cat mom update. Yeah, tonight we have reading sprints, so I will be reading a little bit more of Romola, but I feel like I cannot really update you on the book anymore because so many things happening with the characters and the plot I think can be considered spoilers, so I cannot really talk about that book anymore. If you've seen the 24-hour reading sprint that I hosted last time, we had this game of classic literature with questions, and I thought I could set like a timer for 5 minutes, have Boy read the questions and see how much I can get right. And I will not show you the answers on the screen, so you can play along if you would like to. And if you're playing along, leave me a comment down below how much you got right. And I mean, let's test my knowledge. When I just filmed the little clip where we do the quiz, it does have spoilers for 2 books, for kind of the ending of House of Mirth and for what was Test of the D'Urbervilles as well. So if you have not read those 2 books then, and you are planning to, maybe skip this part of the vlog. Just shuffle and I will put a timer for 5 minutes. Okay, now.
In which country was Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov originally published?
Well, it is a Russian novel, but I'm not sure if they would have allowed it. France?
Yeah, check. Good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm proud of myself.
That's 1.
Okay.
Okay. During which era does The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath take place?
60s. 50s?
1950.
Oh, not.
So, is
I don't know, half a point. Just faster, Monica, faster.
Which location does Gulliver visit last in Gulliver's Travels?
Oh, damn. Canada?
It's not an existing country, I think.
I have no idea, I haven't read that book.
Roenemeland of zoiets. Kijk.
Oh, that sounds fake, but maybe not. Okay, keep going.
Okay. What is the name of Margaret Hale's love interest in Elizabeth Gaskell's novel North and South?
Thornton, but John Thornton?
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
You're
Okay.
right. What does the letter A stand for in the scarlet letter?
Oh, that's the one she wears on her shirt. I don't know. Something offensive, that she is like a slut. That is what they say about her.
It begins with an A.
Yeah, but I don't know any slut-shaming words with an A?
Asshole. No.
No.
Adulterous.
Adulterous. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
What is the English title of the first novel published by Colette?
Oh, something with a girl in a school.
Yeah.
Colette's school adventures, something like that.
That's at school, but
Colette at school?
Claudine at school.
Claudine. Bella. Just.
She wants to guess as well. At the end of Robinson Crusoe, who travels with Crusoe from Portugal to England?
Oh, that is his servant. But I don't know his name.
Begins with an F.
Oh, I have read Foe by Coetzee, and he is in there as well, but no, I don't know this.
Friday.
Friday, same, okay. We have 2.5 minutes left.
Who wrote the novel Peter and Wendy?
Peter and Wendy,
Yeah.
J.M. Barrie.
Yeah. Wow, you're really good at this.
Thank you.
Towards the end of the House of Mirth, Lily Bart receives an inheritance of how much?
Oh, I've read a novel, but I don't know how much. £1,000.
A little bit more.
£5,000.
Double that.
Seriously, £10,000?
Yeah.
Oh my
Dollars.
gosh. Also, spoiler alert for that novel.
In the novel Far from the Madding Crowd, what is the profession of Gabriel Oak?
He's a sheep farmer.
How do you call that?
A sheep farmer, does it have
A shepherd.
a shepherd?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, read that. He is so sexy, you guys. Sorry, word.
Which character from Little Women says, I'm angry nearly every day of my life?
Is either Amy or Joe? Beth? No.
Starts with an M.
Why do I not know the name of the oldest sister?
Mommy.
Marmee?
Yeah, it says Mommy. And Joe
Oh,
is...
that's the mother.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's when she has the conversation with Joe. Okay, yes. I just
What is the name of Toad's home in the wind in the willows?
I just read that. Toad's Hill? No. Oh my gosh.
Almost.
Oh, I just read that book a week ago.
Andere klemtoon. Andere klinker.
Toad's Hall?
Yeah.
Alright, 50 seconds.
Tess marries which character in Tess of the Durvilles?
Dat is de reveal. Spoiler alert again. Angel?
Yeah. Angela.
Angel.
Okay.
He's
After
amazing.
discovering Narnia and the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, who is the first character Lucy meets?
Oh, that's the goat man. But what is his name?
Mr.
Yes, oh gosh.
Mr. T.
Yes, I love the actor who plays him in the film. Mr. I don't know.
Thomas.
Okay, one more, really quick. We can do one more.
What are the first name of the brothers Grimm?
Oh, Jonathan, maybe?
No. It starts with
Wait, the book is over here. No, it just says the Brothers Grimm. Damn.
Jacob and Wilhelm.
But do you remember how much I got right? Because I don't. But it went pretty well. You have it on video, we can check. Editing Milena, how much did I get right? I finished the Love Hypothesis. I think it was around a 3-star. I enjoyed parts of it, but I don't think I'm going to be an Ellie Hazelwood fan in general. But I finished that earlier than I thought, so I'm pretty glad that I can now switch over to my other current reads. During the sprints, I think I will first finish Pippi Longstocking because it's just so indulgent for me to read, such a childhood favorite. I read about half of this, and then I'll probably read a little bit more of Romola, but like starting the sprints at 8 o'clock my time is late for me, so I don't have that much brain power left anymore. So I may start a new audiobook and just do Pippi Longstocking and do some more serious reading tomorrow during the day. But yeah, that was my weekend. It is now Sunday evening. I had a lot of fun with Boy doing the little game. It was really fun to do. I didn't know all the answers, but I did know like the books or the author, so that was really fun. All thanks to booktube, basically. I'm going to get ready for the sprint. I want to thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope that you have a lovely day or evening, and I hope to see you in another video. Doei!